Japan is a country with a reputation as a technology giant of soft power and a peaceful constitution that restricts the use of the army. But this year was a bit unusual for her, as the government approved the largest defense budget in history, about 8.7 trillion yen, which is equivalent to about $55 billion. First of all, it's not about just increasing the number of vehicles. Japan relies on new technologies and expanding opportunities in areas that used to be more symbolic. The project includes the purchase of hundreds of American Tomahawk cruise missiles, the development of its own long-range systems, the strengthening of cyber units, investments in satellite infrastructure, and the creation of a new generation fighter aircraft jointly with the UK and Italy. In other words, Japan is building a defense designed not for past conflicts, but for possible future threats when it is no longer enough just to protect the territory. You need to see, hear and, if necessary, act before a real danger arises. Previously, Japan's alliance with the United States and a couple of formal guarantees were enough, but now Tokyo is trying not to depend solely on the goodwill of its partners. The increased military activity of China, especially in the Taiwan area, the launch of new missiles by North Korea, and the increasingly noticeable rapprochement between Moscow and Pyongyang may have forced Japan to increase the country's military budget. Interestingly, all this is happening in a country where detachment from armed conflict has long been not just a policy, but a part of national identity. However, the government is increasingly discussing the topic of self-defense in the new environment. This is not about militarization in the usual sense, but about a redistribution of roles from complete trust in external guarantees to independence in security matters. This cost increase is not a one-time action. This is part of a 5-year plan according to which defense spending should reach 2% of GDP according to the standard adopted in NATO.